here's the top five. Here we go. Number five is New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Yes, I know that's his stumblingly large title. I hope this is recording okay. It looks really, I don't know, choppy. Whatever. Um, New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Uh, what can I say? I'm a sucker for a Mario game, and if we're lucky as gamers, we get about one good one a year. And I don't, and I, and I guess if you count Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story as a Mario game, then we got two this year. Um, but when I think of Mario game, I just think of old school classic platforming, and this game delivers on that. Of course, it's kind of the sequel to New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS that came out a couple years back. This game improves upon it in every way imaginable. Obviously, graphics. I think the level design is better. They sort of ratcheted up the challenge level a couple of notches, which I think was good and beneficial. Um, it really feels like a decent amount of challenge without being too easy or too ridiculously hard. And obviously, the most talked about and the most important change is the addition of up to four-player multiplayer, which kind of turns into this cooperative, competitive sort of gameplay on the screen. Um, it's really interesting. Basically, you're working together to get to the end of the level, but if you're just feeling like a bad guy, or if you're competing for like the best power up out of a power up block, you could just knock your friend into a pit or some lava. And it's just a really interesting aspect. It adds a whole other layer. And frankly, I'm a little surprised that it took them this long to put into a game or to come up with it, because it's such an interesting and new way to look at a classic Mario platformer. The way I would play it, I would recommend two games simultaneously or close to that. You play it once, you play it through all by yourself, just soak in the level design and the pure experience of another Mario platformer. And then I would suggest playing it also at the same time with up to two of your friends, or one of your friend, or three, and just kind of going through the levels and letting chaos ensue. I will say that near the end, playing it with a lot of people, it gets a little bit challenging, especially if people are playing with are still deciding to be you know, screw offs. But New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a fresh experience, and it's got to be the best Wii game of 2009. It's a pretty dry year for the Wii, but this game, you can't miss it. It has a red cartridge, so pick it up because it is fantastic. And like I said, sucker for Mario games. All right, coming in at number four is Batman: Arkham Asylum. I think this was for PS3 and 360. Um, Okay, so everybody knows that this is the best Batman game by far. I would also probably call it the best superhero game that I've played. Um, I know a lot of people say Superman 64 is really good, but Batman: Arkham Asylum is really fantastic. Let me tell you all the things it has to going on for it here. Uh, you play as Batman, obviously, and you just recently apprehended the Joker. You're taking him to Arkham Asylum again. And basically, he was planning on you doing that. He springs a trap, and you're kind of stuck there with the Joker, and it's just Batman versus Joker, like Batman should be. One second. um, and the gameplay is a mixture of kind of two different kinds of combat. The first is just this what they call free flow combat, which is a mixture of parries and timed button presses, and it feels really natural, and you really eat through guys without it being too much of a breeze. It makes you feel like a badass without making it feel like everyone else is so stupidly easy. And then it combines that with a really interesting stealth game aspect. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to take down 9 armed guards just with your fist. They're going to shoot you, and you're going to die. But the stealth aspect, you're like, you do different things. You set up traps, and you take them out one by one. You string them up from the ceiling, or you incapacitate them in any other way until there's one guy left, and he's terrified, and he's shooting at shadows, and you just swoop down and take him out. And I love that part too. And it really kind of flows together really well. Mix that with some awesome segments involving the Scarecrow, where you get a whiff of his dust or whatever, his Scarecrow pollen, and there's these crazy segments that are just really cool. There's about three. I think there's three in the game total. I haven't finished this game. Another one that I haven't finished. Forgive me, but I feel really bad about this one because this game was really good and really impressed me. The storyline is really well done. The voice acting is like some of the best that I've heard. Mark Hamill, of course, as the Joker is amazing. They bring back all the classic voices. It's a game that really makes you feel like Batman, which I think is important because Batman is a kick-ass character, and so the games based around him have to be equally kick-ass. And I think that Rocksteady did a great job making you feel like Batman in this game. It's getting a sequel. That's going to be awesome. I obviously can't wait for that, but I got to finish this game first. But Batman Arkham Asylum was a great, solid game that I think everyone should check out, really. That was number 4. All right, number 3, and I'm sure a lot of people were figuring, when's this going to come along? It's bound to come along eventually, and that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for 360 and PS3. Okay, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I could just tell you a bunch of stuff that you already know. It's a fantastic shooter, basically one of the defining shooters of our generation. They always pump out excellent content. Let me say this: why is it 3 and not 2 or 1? If you get this game solely for multiplayer, solely for single player, I don't think it's. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably not worth the money that you're going to spend on this. The single player campaign is shockingly short. It only took about 5.5 hours, and that was on like hardened. I mean, if you take away all the time that I was hiding behind cover and waiting for blood to fall off my face, if I played this on like recruit difficulty, which is the easiest, it'd probably take me a clean 4.5, maybe a little more. But what I'm trying to say is that that's not necessarily. I'm not trying to count that against the game too much. I'm just saying that if you get this game, you need to go online or system link because the multiplayer is so robust and complex that there's the leveling your character aspect of it. There's the building your stats and getting good in one kind of gun and making custom classes and getting up in the ranks. And it's really addictive. It's like nothing. It's more addictive than probably any other online multiplayer that I can think of. And I know that that's what Infinity Ward was thinking when they made this game, was it's going to be an awesome multiplayer experience. I'm just sad. I mean, I'm not saying that the single player is devoid of great moments. There are some awesome moments in this game, just like in Call of Duty 4. It's definitely not devoid of those times. I'm just saying that, like, it's a little bit short. And I know a lot of people are like, well, if it's quality, then why do you care about the length? I'm just saying getting bang for your buck. That's all I'm saying. Because it just seems like spending, $60 in this game is not going to go down in price anytime soon. $60 for a game that you're only going to spend like 5 hours in, is not worth it. But I will say that you got to play a multiplayer. Spec Ops is so much fun too. There are these little small missions that you can play by yourself or with a friend to get these star rankings and stuff, and just addictive across the board. I will say that the single player was probably technically my least favorite part, but I will say that it's a great single player experience and just one part of the amazing package that is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So you gotta pick up this game if you're going online. You gotta get the most out of your live subscription with this game because people are playing it. They've been playing it for a while, and they're going to play it until the third Call of Duty Modern Warfare game comes out, and then they'll probably still be playing it then. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, it's a must-own, especially if you're going online. All right, number 2. This might